joins us from Srinagar in Indian-administered Kashmir. So just bring us up to date. 3 potential suspects named.
Plus that they believe there were a total of 4 militants involved in the attack, which include people they say.
In a move that has sent shockwaves through Asia, India has unleashed its BrahMos missiles in a precision strike that not only stunned Pakistan, but also caught China's attention. This unprecedented action has redrawn the strategic map of the region. What led to this bold move, and what does it mean for the future of South Asian security? Stay tuned as we delve into the details of this game-changing event. In the early hours of a tense spring morning, the peace in Kashmir's Pahalgam region was shattered by a brutal terrorist attack. Militants opened fire on a bus carrying Indian security personnel, leaving 26 soldiers dead and several more critically wounded. The attack, which bore the hallmark of cross-border terror groups operating from Pakistan, reignited long-standing tensions between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. As images of the carnage flooded Indian media, the public outcry was immediate, and the demand for retaliation grew deafening. This wasn't just another skirmish on the border. For New Delhi, it was a line crossed, a calculated provocation that warranted more than diplomatic protest. Within hours, intelligence and defense officials convened high-level meetings. The question was no longer if India would respond, but how, and with what level of force. Enter the BrahMos missile system, a joint Indo-Russian venture that has become the crown jewel of India's strike capability. The BrahMos is not just fast, it is the world's fastest supersonic cruise missile, traveling at nearly 3 times the speed of sound. With a range now extended up to 900 kilometers and pinpoint accuracy, it's capable of delivering a devastating payload to any target within minutes, whether on land, sea, or air. Unlike conventional artillery or airstrikes, BrahMos represents a leap into precision warfare. A tool meant not just for defense, but for deterrence. For years, the BrahMos has served as a silent guardian, a latent threat known to India's adversaries. But in the wake of the Pahalgam massacre, that silence was broken. India was done issuing warnings. This time, it would speak through action delivered at Mach 3. In the aftermath of the Pahalgam attack, India's response was swift and decisive, bringing the BrahMos missile system into the spotlight. This supersonic cruise missile, a product of Indo-Russian collaboration, has become a symbol of India's strategic prowess. The genesis of the BrahMos missile dates back to 1998, when India's Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, and Russia's NPO Machino-Stroyenia formed BrahMos Aerospace through an intergovernmental agreement. The name BrahMos is a portmanteau of 2 rivers, India's Brahmaputra and Russia's Moskva, symbolizing the partnership between the 2 nations. BrahMos is renowned for its exceptional speed, reaching up to Mach 3, making it one of the fastest cruise missiles globally. Its range has evolved over time, with the latest variants capable of striking targets up to 900 kilometers away. The missile's precision is noteworthy, with a circular error probable (CP) of just 1 meter, ensuring pinpoint accuracy. Its versatility allows deployment from land, sea, air, and submarine platforms, providing strategic flexibility. The missile's 2-stage propulsion system comprises a solid propellant booster for initial acceleration and a liquid-fueled ramjet for sustained supersonic cruise. This configuration not only ensures high speed but also enhances fuel efficiency, extending the missile's operational range. The BrahMos can carry a conventional warhead weighing between 200 to 300 kilograms, suitable for various mission profiles. Recognizing the need to stay ahead in missile technology, India and Russia have embarked on developing the BrahMos 2, a hypersonic variant expected to reach speeds up to Mach 8 and a range of approximately 1,500 kilometers. This next-generation missile will utilize a scramjet engine, allowing it to maintain hypersonic speeds throughout its flight, significantly reducing the time to target and complicating interception efforts. The BrahMos 2 aims to enhance India's deterrence capabilities, particularly against fortified and time-sensitive targets. The BrahMos missile system's development and deployment underscore India's commitment to bolstering its defense capabilities through indigenous innovation and strategic partnerships. As regional security dynamics evolve, the BrahMos stands as a testament to. In the early hours of May 10, 2025, India launched Operation Sindoor, a meticulously planned military offensive targeting key Pakistani airbases. This operation was a direct response to the Pahalgam terror attack, aiming to dismantle Pakistan's aerial defense capabilities and send a clear message about India's resolve. The operation commenced around 2:30 a.m. and spanned approximately 10 hours, involving multiple waves of precision strikes. The Indian Air Force (IF) employed a combination of BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles, Scalp missiles, and other standoff weapons to execute the mission. The BrahMos missiles, launched from Su-30 Mki fighter jets, played a pivotal role in the operation, striking targets deep within Pakistani territory without breaching its airspace. Key targets included the Nur Khan airbase near Rawalpindi, a strategic hub close to Pakistan's military headquarters. The strikes resulted in significant damage to the base's infrastructure, including the destruction of 2 mobile command centers and a refueling aircraft. Other targeted airbases were Kamra, where a BrahMos missile created a 10-meter-wide crater on the runway, and Bolari, which suffered the collapse of an aircraft hangar. The operation also targeted terrorist infrastructure in regions like Bahawalpur and Murid, known strongholds of groups like Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba. These strikes reportedly resulted in the elimination of over 170 terrorists and the destruction of multiple training camps. Pakistan's immediate response was limited, with its air defense systems largely neutralized. The Indian Navy maintained strategic positions off the Makran coast, ready to escalate if necessary. By the afternoon of May 10, Pakistan sought diplomatic intervention, leading to a ceasefire brokered with the assistance of the United States. Operation Sindoor marked a significant shift in India's military strategy, showcasing its capability to conduct deep precision strikes and its willingness to respond decisively to cross-border terrorism. The operation's success underscored the effectiveness of India's indigenous defense technology and its commitment to safeguarding national security. In the immediate aftermath of Operation Sindoor, Pakistan's official response was swift and assertive. The Pakistani military claimed to have downed 5 Indian aircraft, including 2 Rafale jets, during the hostilities. These assertions were disseminated through state-controlled media outlets, aiming to project a narrative of resilience and military competence. However, independent verification of these claims remains elusive, and Indian authorities have not corroborated the reported losses. A significant development in Pakistan's internal military hierarchy was the promotion of Army Chief General Asim Munir to the rank of Field Marshal on May 21, 2025. This elevation marked only the second instance in Pakistan's history of an officer attaining this 5-star rank, the first being General Ayub Khan in 1959. The government lauded Munir's exemplary leadership during the recent military engagements, framing the promotion as a testament to his strategic acumen and dedication to national defense. Critics, however, interpret this move as a symbolic gesture aimed at bolstering domestic morale and consolidating military authority in the face of perceived setbacks. Domestically, the promotion of Munir and the official narrative of a successful defense against Indian aggression were met with mixed reactions. While segments of the population rallied behind the military, viewing the developments as a reaffirmation of national strength, others expressed skepticism. Analysts pointed to the lack of tangible evidence supporting Pakistan's claims of downing Indian aircraft, and questioned the timing and motivations behind Munir's promotion. The move was seen by some as an attempt to divert attention from the damages inflicted during Operation Sindoor and to reinforce the military's dominant role in Pakistan's political landscape. Internationally, the situation elicited calls for restraint and dialogue. Turkey expressed solidarity with Pakistan, with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif thanking President Recep Tayyip Erdogan for his support during the tensions. Conversely, other global actors, including the United States, maintained a more neutral stance. Former U.S. President Donald Trump claimed to have played a role in brokering a ceasefire, though these assertions were met with skepticism and viewed as self-aggrandizing. The broader international community emphasized the importance of de-escalation and the resumption of diplomatic channels to address underlying issues. In summary, Pakistan's response to Operation Sindoor encompassed a blend of assertive military claims and symbolic leadership changes. While these actions aim to project strength and maintain internal cohesion, they also highlighted the complexities of managing domestic narratives and international perceptions in the aftermath of a significant military confrontation. China's reaction to India's deployment of BrahMos missiles during Operation Sindoor has been marked by strategic recalibration and heightened concern. As Pakistan's principal defense ally, Beijing found its military support under scrutiny when Indian forces successfully penetrated Pakistani air defenses, many of which were Chinese-made. The BrahMos missiles, known for their speed and precision, exposed vulnerabilities in systems like the HQ-9, raising questions about the efficacy of Chinese defense exports. In response, China provided Pakistan with critical military assistance, including satellite support and the reorganization of radar and air defense systems. This support aimed to bolster Pakistan's defensive capabilities and mitigate the impact of India's offensive. Beyond immediate military concerns, China's strategic calculations have been influenced by the proliferation of BrahMos missiles in Southeast Asia. Countries like the Philippines and Vietnam have shown interest in acquiring these missiles, viewing them as a counterbalance to China's assertiveness in the South China Sea. The potential sale of BrahMos missiles to Indonesia further underscores this trend. China perceives the spread of BrahMos missiles as a challenge to its regional ambitions. The deployment of these missiles by neighboring countries could alter the strategic balance, complicating China's efforts to project power in contested areas. Consequently, Beijing has expressed objections to the export of BrahMos missiles, citing concerns over regional stability and the potential for an arms race. In summary, India's use of BrahMos missiles has prompted China to reassess its defense strategies and regional policies. The effectiveness of these missiles during Operation Sindoor has not only exposed weaknesses in Chinese-made defense systems, but also influenced the strategic landscape of Southeast Asia, challenging China's aspirations and prompting a re-evaluation of its military and diplomatic approaches. On March 9, 2022, a BrahMos supersonic cruise missile was inadvertently launched from an Indian Air Force base in Ambala, Haryana, and crashed into Mian Chanu in Pakistan's Punjab province. The missile traveled approximately 124 kilometers into Pakistani territory, causing damage to civilian property but resulting in no casualties. The Indian government attributed the incident to a technical malfunction during routine maintenance and initiated a high-level inquiry. Subsequently, 3 Indian Air Force officers were dismissed for deviating from standard operating procedures, including failing to disconnect combat connectors before moving the missile launcher. Pakistan condemned the incident as a violation of its airspace and demanded a joint investigation, which India declined. The episode raised concerns about the safety protocols surrounding India's missile systems and the potential for accidental escalation between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. The lack of a self-destruct mechanism in the BrahMos missile further highlighted the risks associated with such incidents. This accidental launch underscored the need for stringent safety measures and transparent communication channels between India and Pakistan to prevent misunderstandings that could lead to conflict. It also emphasized the importance of robust command and control mechanisms to ensure that such incidents do not recur, thereby maintaining regional stability. Operation Sindoor marked a pivotal moment in India's defense narrative, showcasing the efficacy and strategic value of its indigenous weaponry. The operation's success was not solely a testament to military prowess but also a reflection of India's commitment to self-reliance in defense technology. Central to this achievement was the Akashteer air defense system, developed by Bharat Electronics Limited. During the operation, Akashteer demonstrated remarkable efficiency by intercepting and neutralizing all incoming aerial threats, including drones and missiles, thereby safeguarding critical assets and civilian areas. This system's performance underscored the advancements India has made in developing robust, automated defense solutions. Complementing Akashteer's success were other indigenous systems like the Advanced Towed Artillery Gun System, ATAGS, and the Dhanush artillery guns. These platforms provided precise and reliable firepower, enhancing the Indian Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, played a crucial role in this transformation. By fostering innovation and collaborating with private industry, DRDO has accelerated the development and deployment of advanced defense technologies. This synergy has not only reduced dependency on foreign imports but also ensured that the equipment is tailored to India's specific strategic needs. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his address following the operation, emphasized the significance of these developments. He lauded the engineers and scientists behind these indigenous systems, stating that their contributions have fortified India's defense capabilities and propelled the nation towards greater self-reliance. This sentiment resonates with the broader vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, aiming to position India as a self-sufficient and resilient global power. In conclusion, Operation Sindoor not only achieved its immediate military objectives but also validated the strategic importance of investing in indigenous defense technologies. The operation stands as a testament to India's evolving defense landscape, where homegrown innovations are at the forefront of national security. The ceasefire between India and Pakistan, brokered on May 10, 2025, marked a critical juncture in the recent escalation of hostilities. The agreement came after intense diplomatic efforts, primarily led by the United States, to halt the rapid descent into full-scale conflict following a deadly terrorist attack in Pahalgam, Kashmir, which claimed 26 lives. India attributed the attack to Pakistan-based militants, prompting a series of retaliatory strikes, including the deployment of BrahMos missiles targeting Pakistani military installations. Pakistan responded with its own military actions, leading to a dangerous cycle of escalation. U.S. President Donald Trump announced the ceasefire after a series of diplomatic engagements involving Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Vice President J.D. Vance. The ceasefire was confirmed by both nations, with India's Foreign Secretary stating that military operations heads from both countries had communicated directly to finalize the agreement. Despite the ceasefire, tensions remain high. India maintains that its military operations are ongoing, emphasizing the need to eliminate terrorist threats emanating from Pakistan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has characterized the strikes as setting a new standard in retaliation, asserting India's right to defend its sovereignty. Conversely, Pakistan has accused India of aggression and violations of international norms, while also expressing a commitment to peace and stability in the region. The international community has expressed concern over the fragile nature of the ceasefire. Analysts warn that without addressing the underlying issues, including the Kashmir dispute and cross-border terrorism, the risk of renewed conflict remains high. The suspension of agreements like the Indus Waters Treaty and the mobilization of troops along the border further exacerbate the situation. In conclusion, while the ceasefire has temporarily halted active hostilities, the path to lasting peace requires sustained diplomatic engagement and mutual trust. Both India and Pakistan face the challenge of balancing domestic political pressures with the imperative of regional stability. The role of international mediators, particularly the United States, will be crucial in facilitating dialogue and preventing future escalations. India's deployment of the BrahMos missile during Operation Sindoor has dramatically recalibrated the strategic balance in South Asia. This high-speed, precision-guided weapon, used in live conflict for the first time, showcased not just India's technological sophistication but also its willingness to escalate in response to cross-border terrorism. The precision strikes delivered by BrahMos missiles against key Pakistani airbases have sent a clear message. India's threshold for tolerating proxy attacks has narrowed, and it now possesses both the capability and the intent to retaliate with overwhelming force. This marks a pivotal shift from past Indian military doctrines, which emphasized restraint and strategic patience. The integration of BrahMos into active combat scenarios highlights a more assertive posture, where deterrence is now rooted in credible and rapid punitive response. For Pakistan, this raises the stakes considerably. Its traditional reliance on tactical nuclear weapons to offset conventional military disadvantages now appears riskier in a scenario where preemptive conventional strikes can neutralize key assets before a nuclear option is viable. The implications extend beyond the immediate India-Pakistan rivalry. China's regional calculus is equally affected, with BrahMos systems being offered to countries like the Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia, many of whom share territorial disputes with Beijing. The missile's proliferation could create a deterrence network aimed at curbing Chinese assertiveness in the Indo-Pacific. India's successful combat deployment makes the missile system even more attractive to Southeast Asian militaries seeking credible countermeasures to China's growing military footprint. However, the demonstration of BrahMos in conflict also risks triggering an arms race. Pakistan is expected to intensify efforts to acquire or develop similar precision strike capabilities, potentially with Chinese assistance. Meanwhile, China may push harder to deploy and export countersystems like hypersonic missiles and advanced air defense platforms. The region could thus see a spiraling contest of missile capabilities, undermining arms control efforts and heightening the risk of rapid escalation in future crises. In conclusion, India's use of the BrahMos missile has not just redefined its own defense doctrine but has reshaped the military landscape of South Asia. While it enhances deterrence, it also escalates the technological stakes across the region, making the pursuit of peace more complex and dependent on new frameworks for transparency and communication between rival powers. India's combat deployment of the BrahMos missile marks a turning point in South Asian security dynamics. More than a show of technological might, it signals a transformation in India's strategic doctrine, one that blends precision warfare with rapid, decisive retaliation. Operation Sindoor was not merely a tactical maneuver. It was a statement of intent, reinforcing that India is prepared to respond forcefully to terrorism and cross-border provocations. This shift has forced both adversaries and allies to reassess their military calculations. For Pakistan, the operation exposed vulnerabilities and raised the stakes for future engagements. For China, the BrahMos' rising influence across Southeast Asia presents a new challenge to its regional dominance. Meanwhile, India's emphasis on indigenous defense capabilities showcases the growing role of self-reliance in shaping national security. Looking forward, the road remains fraught with uncertainty. The ceasefire between India and Pakistan, while crucial, is fragile and could unravel without sustained diplomatic engagement. As advanced military technologies like BrahMos reshape conflict thresholds, the margin for error narrows dangerously. Ultimately, the future of India-Pakistan relations will hinge on whether both nations can transition from military posturing to meaningful dialogue. Until then, precision weapons and rapid escalation capabilities will continue to define the uneasy peace and the ever-present potential for conflict in South Asia.